For those of you that don't know me, I'm Denise Wireman. This is my freedom story that I'm sharing with you today. Before some of the dates that I'm going to be talking to you about are before I really knew the mercy and grace of Jesus. My prayer when I give my freedom story is that it will save an unborn life, maybe even many. I have some dates that are really important to me. June 1986, November of 1986, April of 2019, and January 17th of 2021. I had an abortion in June of 1986. At that point, I thought I was making a good decision. But later, years later, I discovered that it was based on a lot of lies when I made that decision. At that point in my life, I had felt that I was making a good decision. In November of 1986, I was involved in an automobile accident. I had turned onto Ramsdale Road, and a few minutes before I was involved in my automobile accident, I never would wear my seatbelt. And a voice said, "Put your seatbelt on now." Without any hesitation, I grabbed my seatbelt, put it on. And 3 minutes later, I was on a curve, and the man that hit me was fully in my lane, and so we hit head on. Paramedics said, "Get me out of the car." And they said if I had not put my seatbelt on, I would have gone through the windshield. I went to the hospital, spent some time in the hospital, still carry some scars from that accident. The one thing that kept going through my mind was, why did Jesus save me? Why did he tell me to put my seatbelt on? Because quite honestly, I had taken a life, months before that. Why did he save me? I was feeling pretty worthless. And yeah. But about that time, I also started bearing my feelings, buried shame and guilt and condemnation for what took place in June of 1986. But I also started growing in my relationship with Jesus. And from the time of my accident, I was very grateful. I was very grateful and thankful to Jesus for saving me, because I knew it was him, that voice that talked to me. In April of 2019, I saw the movie Unplanned. There's an abortion scene in that just wrecked me. For the most part of the movie, I cried. I couldn't get that scene out of my mind. It brought back a lot of memories. The lies that were told to me. It's just a clump of cells. Well, it won't feel anything. Yeah. Lies. More guilt. More shame. More condemnation. On January 17th, 2021, Pastor John did a service, kind of like what you're sitting in today, Sanctity of Life. Sat through the service, like any time when abortion is brought up, I sat in the back crying. Kayla walked up to me, my daughter Kayla, and she said, "Mom, I think you ought to go up for prayer." Well, my husband Kearney also joined in. "Yep, I think you should go up for prayer." I saw Hilma and Dan up at the front, and I thought they're trusted. I'm going to go up and, ask for prayer. I thought it was a great idea from Kayla and Kearney to encourage me. So I did. I went up to the front. I told them that I'd had an abortion. You know, I guess I should back up. For many, I didn't say this before, but I had talked to people about having an abortion. I talked to my family. My daughters knew. Some people knew. I hadn't really shared it a lot before that. Just, the guilt and the shame from it. Just didn't really want to talk about it. So that day on January 17th, really a lot of people in the church started hearing about it. Like I said, I hadn't shared before. So anyway, him and Dan are praying over me. Kayla and Kearney are up there. Donna walks up to me, and I tell her I had an abortion years ago. I need prayer. And her and I talk for a little bit, and she grabs my face and says, "What more could Jesus have done for you? Was dying not enough?" And I kept thinking about that. Was Jesus dying for me enough? And at that moment, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened. It was like something just snapped off. Guilt and shame and condemnation fell on the floor, and I fell too. It was the most freedom I'd had in years, from all that time of just bearing my shame and my guilt for having an abortion. It dropped on the floor, and I was free. We carry burdens I don't think that we're ever meant to carry. So today I just want to thank Pastor John for having a Sanctity of Life service, Lisa, most of all my family, Kayla and Kearney, for encouraging me to get prayer, and Donna, Hilma, and Dan. Yeah, thank you.